Do you see what is in front of you? Do you see the screen?
Yep.
Okay. Can you read for me this word?
Qala Rabbi.
Qala Rabbi. Okay.
Yeah.
Qala Rabbi. So what does that mean?
Yeah, my Lord said. He said.
My Lord said. Qala Rabbi. Exactly. Qala Rabbi. Qala. My Lord said. This is the Hafs version.
Right.
Now, if we go to the Qalun and the Warsh version for the same chapter, chapter 21, ayah 4, it says, Qul Rabbi. Say, my Lord. Isn't that different?
Yeah, of course it's different.
Thank you. So why do you Muslims always say that the Quran is one? How dare you, for the last 1400 years, lie to yourselves, lie to us that the Quran is one, while we see different Arabic Qurans. And you just agreed with me. Thank you. Guys, give this guy a rose. Give our friend here a rose, guys. So how dare you Muslims to say that the Quran is one? Go ahead.
So you're basically saying that we Muslims have lied?
Yes.
Like how? What do you mean?
You just confirmed it. My friend, did you smoke something this morning?
No,
Did you smoke something? You just agreed with me that there is a huge difference. So there is not only one Quran, there are many Qurans. Because, as you see, the Qalun and the Warsh versions do not agree with the Hafs.
Right.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, fine. So what's the problem? I'm trying to understand. Just explain, please.
You don't see the problem.
Yeah, because you said we lied. I'm just trying to understand, where is the lie?
Yes, the scholars of Islam have lied because they have always claimed that the Quran is the same. How is the Quran the same then?
No. I think the statement is wrong. I think the scholars have always talked about the different qira'at which come from the ahruf, the 7 ahruf. Okay,
what are the 7 ahrufs? Are they different dialects?
They can be many things.
They can be. What are those things?
Many, lots of things. Lots of things.
What? Give me a definition of ahrufs. What are the ahrufs?
They can include dialects. They can include interchanging of words. They can include words with multiple meanings. They can, like for example, they can include two different angles of a particular ayah, like this, qala and qul.
Okay, but why do Muslims always lie to us for the last 1400 years, saying that the Quran, not one dot is changed? That's what they always have said. Not one dot is changed, not one vowel is changed, not one word is changed. But we see over and over different Qurans, different meanings. So how is this the same Quran?
Right. So what when Muslims say that not a word has changed, is what they mean is from the time the Prophet has revealed the Quran to us, when he has passed it on to his companions, nothing has changed from then. So
that's a lie from hell. That's a lie. You're lying.
So again, Rob Christian tries to deceive his audience, and he's claiming, why does it say first of all قال ربي يعلم القول في السماء والأرض, and in another qira'ah it says قل ربي. قل ربي means say, O Muhammad, my Lord, while qala Rabbi meaning Muhammad said, my Lord. So whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala orders the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu by saying qul, meaning say, O Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu says, which means that when Allah said say, O Muhammad, my Lord, Muhammad sallallahu said, my Lord. So it means here اختلفت القراء في قراءة قوله قل ربي، فقرأ ذلك عامة قراء أهل المدينة والبصرة وبعض الكوفيين قل ربي على وجه الأمر. Right? And this means in تأويله it says وكأن الذين قرأوه على وجه الأمر أرادوا من تأويله قل يا محمد القائلين, say, O Muhammad, to the people, أفتأتون السحر وأنتم تبصرون, for example. So this verse was revealed تفسير الآية قل ربي يعلم قال ربي يعلم القول في السماء والأرض. Right? If we look at it, it is talking about قل ربي أي قال محمد ربي. That means قال ربي, that means Muhammad said, my Lord knows القول, right? My Lord knows the qawl. So this is why there is no difference in that. There's two qira'ah. It was revealed in two ways. So if it says here قال ربي, that means Muhammad said, my Lord. Here it says, oh Muhammad, say your Lord, right? So when Allah orders Muhammad by saying, say, oh Muhammad, your Lord, then Muhammad said, my Lord. So قال Muhammad, that means the Prophet said, ربي يعلم القول في السماء والأرض. Another example would be in chapter 113 of the Quran, verse 1. It says, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Say, meaning, O Prophet, O Muhammad, I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak. So when Allah tells the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, قُلْ, meaning say, O Muhammad, the Prophet has to say it. So when Allah commands the Prophet saying, قُلْ, say, meaning the Prophet has to say what Allah ordered him to say. So this is the same exact thing as we go back here. It says قال ربي, that means the Prophet said, because Allah told him قل ربي. In another qira'ah, Allah says commands the Prophet to say my Lord. So the Prophet said my Lord.
Now guys, this is Hafs Quran. This is the Hafs version that you see here. This is chapter 28:48. Again, chapter 28:48. Guys, pay attention please. From now on, I want you to be very focused. Don't allow the Muslims to distract you. If there are Muslims who are interested to learn, I challenge you to pay attention and see if we are lying to you, okay? Here. This is the house that you see here. And pay attention to this very word. Sihrani. What? The word is sihrani, which means two works of magics. Two works of magic. Sihrani. Sihrani. Same chapter, same ayah, but now from the Qalun and the Warsh version. Here under that you see here. The Qalun and the Warsh do not agree with the Hafs. They say, and this is the word, two magicians. So this one, the Hafs Quran says Sihrani, two works of magic. And the Hafs does not agree with the Qalun and Warsh version, and the Qalun and Warsh versions say Sahirani, two magicians. Now, there's a huge difference, guys, between two works of magic, Sihrani and Sahirani, two magicians, two wizards. Did you catch it?
So the reason in Hafs it says two works of magic, Sihrani, it means that the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ and Moses, who came with the miracles to the people of to Banu Israel and to the Jews, they called them that they are the miracles are two works of magic, namely the Torah and the Quran. And in Qalun and Warsh it says two magicians. It's referring to Moses and Muhammad. So as it says here in chapter 2 of the Quran, verse 89, it says, and when there came to them a book from Allah, meaning the Jews, when there came to them a book from Allah, meaning the Quran, and the final messenger ﷺ, confirming that which was with them, meaning of the Torah, although before they used to pray for victory against those who disbelieved. So the Jews used to pray for victory against the pagan Arabs in Mecca. But then when there came to them that which they recognized, meaning the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the true Prophet, from their own books and the Quran and the signs of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, the miracles, they disbelieved in it. So the curse of Allah will be upon the disbelievers. And as you can see, the disbelievers used to say in chapter 69 of the Quran, verse 41 to verse 43, they used to say about the Quran that it's the words of a poet, meaning the Prophet Muhammad was a poet and the Quran is poetry, which Allah refutes and says no, and it is not the word of a poet, little do you believe, nor it is the word of a soothsayer. So they used to call the Prophet Muhammad a magician or a soothsayer. Little do they remember. It is a revelation from the Lord of the worlds, meaning the Quran is a revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not poetry or magic.
Chapter 33. Pay attention, guys. Take notes. Take screenshots. For the love of God, take screenshots. Chapter 33, ayah 68 of the Quran. Chapter 33, ayah 68 of the Quran. This is the Hafs. This one is the Hafs. Hafs and Asim. Hafs version. Alright? It says the following. La'nan kabira. This is the Hafs. La'nan kabira. And you have to pay attention to this word. Kabira. A great or a big curse from Allah. Right? The word is a big curse. Kabira. Big. Kabira. If we go to the Qal'un and the Warsh versions for the same chapter, same ayah, this is the Qal'un an Nafi and Warsh an Nafi. Watch. Look what it says. La'nan kathira. Kathira versus kabira. Many curse versus a big, great curse. Kabira, kathira. Kabira, kathira. Do you see how the dots can change the meaning, guys? Here you see 3 dots. Do you see it? In purple. 3 dots. Here the dot is underneath. Here the dot is on top.
Now Rob Christian is arguing that a great curse is different than many curses, which is wrong, because something that becomes many becomes a great curse. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala curses them a lot, that means the curse becomes great and great curse. That's the same thing, for example, in Arabic saying هذا مبلغ كبير, that's a lot. And هذا مبلغ كثير is the same thing, that's a lot. This is of money, they added in the end, but meaning that this is a big amount. That's a lot. هذا مبلغ كبير means that's a big amount of money. And هذا مبلغ كثير is also the same thing as saying that this is a lot of money. So saying that هذا مبلغ كبير, kabir here means that's a lot, or that's a great amount of money. Kathir means a lot of money. So it's the same thing. A great amount of money, we say that's a great amount of money. We don't say that's a lot of money. Or we can say that's a lot of money, but a lot of money means a great amount of money. So that's basically how the Arabic language is. So there's no difference in that, because when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues to increases them a lot, means that the curse becomes a great curse. And as we can see also in chapter 2 of the Quran, verse 159, أُولَٰئِكَ يَلْعَنُهُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَلْعَنُهُمُ اللَّاعِنُونَ. Those are cursed by Allah and cursed by those who curse, which makes it a huge amount. So if Allah is cursing them and the people who curse are cursing them, and those who curse are cursing them as well, proves that it becomes a great curse. So whatever the ulama says, مَا كَثُرَ صَارَ كَبِيرًا. So whatever has increased has become great or big. So if they continue to curse them a lot, that means it's a great curse altogether.
Chapter 16, ayah 66. You see here in front of you, do you see the screen?
Yeah.
All right. Can you read this part and translate? And if you don't see the difference, then you have a problem with the Arabic grammar. Go ahead.
Okay, butunihi.
What does this one say?
Butuniha.
My friend, do you see the cursor? This is Hafs.
Okay.
Okay, what does it say?
Yeah, butuniha. The
No, it does not say butuniha. It says al-an'ami is a feminine word.
Okay.
Versus butuniha. This should be butuniha, not butunihi. If you are saying that the Quran of Hafs has no issues, if Allah is starting with al-an'ami, which is a feminine word, a feminine form of word, he should have continued by using a feminine word for butunihi. In this case, it should have been butuniha. So did Allah lie when he said butunihi?
So on what?
Or did he make a mistake?
So where is the change in Hafs?
Where is the change in Hafs?
Your argument is there's a change.
Yes.
Did anyone recite butuniha in Hafs ever?
Yes, Allah Himself here.
When?
Al-Mu'minun, chapter Al-Mu'minun, chapter 23, ayah 21. Abdul, wait. Allah decided to change his mind and correct himself in chapter 23, ayah 21. Here he started with al-an'ami, which is feminine, correcting himself, writing it with the upfollowing word in the feminine form instead of وَبُطُونِهِ فِي بُطُونِهِ, he said فِي بُطُونِهَا. It's the same ayah basically. Do you see it? وَإِن لَكُمْ فِي الْأَنْعَامِ لَعِبْرًا, and then he continues saying فِي بُطُونِهَا. So in chapter 23, ayah 21, he corrected himself using feminine, al-an'ami, using also بُطُونِهَا, also feminine. But in chapter 16, ayah 66, Allah does not know the meaning between a feminine form of word and a masculine feminine form of word. So in chapter 16, ayah 66, he made a huge disaster, showing us that he is an ignoramus. He does not know the difference between feminine words and masculine words, changing his mind in chapter 23, ayah 21, correcting himself, fixing his mistake, and writing it in the correct feminine form, بطونها.
Oh, okay. So now here's two things. Number one,
Yes.
The initial argument you're making is that Muslims have lied, that nothing has changed in the in for example, Hafs and Asim. But now you're showing an example of two different ayahs using two different pronouns.
Okay, yes. And which one is correct? Which one is correct? Only one can be correct, right?
Okay, so let us try to understand this. Are you aware of how in Arabic for a plural, non-human plural?
My friend, this has nothing to do with plural. Are you aware that in the Arabic grammar there's something called feminine forms of words and masculine forms? Because Allah clearly doesn't know that.
Okay, let me ask you
teach
something.
Allah, don't teach me. I know my grammar. Teach Allah, help Allah, man.
Rob, let me ask you something. You know the ayah Tilka Rusul.
Abdul, don't go to other.
No.
The ayah in front. You said there's nothing, no problems with the house. I'm not running. I'm showing you. I gave you an example. Address this example. Don't run away to another topic, man. Don't go to other ayahs. Address this very disaster in the Quran, chapter 16, ayah 66, chapter 23, ayah 21.
This is not a disaster. This is just.
How is this not a disaster? Are you stupid or what? What did you smoke, man?
This is grammatics.
This is a disaster in the grammatical.
You're an Arab who has non-Arab speakers, non-Arab viewers probably on your show.
Oh yeah.
And you're trying to hide away one of the grammatical.
How am I hiding? It's on the screen, you idiot.
If you allow me to speak, Rob.
Go ahead.
No, are you going to?
Who is hiding? Who is hiding? It's on the screen. This is helps. Help Allah, please help Allah. Allah does not know the difference between the feminine and the masculine forms of words. Help him.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
You are supposed to discuss with me the change of an ayah. Instead, you went to a different ayah and showed me.
I did not went to a different ayah. It's basically the same ayah. Look,
it's not.
It's the same. Yes, it is.
1666.
وَإِن لَكُمْ فِي الْأَنْعَامِ, and then he continues with بُطُونِهَا here. But here, the same, even the whole thing is the same. Allah is repeating himself only in a different ayah. It's the same ayah, but in a different chapter, different ayah.
Can I ask you a question? Will you answer it?
Stay on topic. Go ahead.
No, I'm not changing the topic. It's regarding grammar. Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead. No, don't. You can't ask me a question. Help Allah.
No. I thought Muslims are welcome to call you and discuss.
Yes, you are welcome to call me. Address the disaster that Allah created in the Hafs Quran. Go ahead.
No, Rob, this is not how it works. When you're having a discussion, you need to be ready to.
Don't run. Go ahead. Help Allah. Which one is correct? Which one is correct? Because this cannot be correct and this one cannot be correct.
Both are correct.
No, how? Okay, explain how.
Both are correct.
Okay, go ahead.
Grammatically, in Arabic,
yes.
a plural can be used with singular feminine as well.
How?
This is grammar, like tilka rusul.
Abdul, this is the same ayah, only in a different chapter. Address it.
You can use in both ways. You do know that. Grammatically, you do know that.
No, I don't know that.
Okay. Oh, you have a.
Address this disaster. Address this disaster.
Can you pull up Zamakshari online?
Coward. See, waste of time. Let me. You know what? I'm not going to waste my time with a guy who doesn't want to address. Any other Muslim? Don't waste my time, yeah, Abdul. Any other Muslim?
So the idiot has no idea in Arabic grammar, and this brother right there exposed Rob Christian, because he told him pull up Al-Zamakhshari to show him evidence that this is how it's read. Rob ran away immediately and acted as nothing happened. And we all know that Rob Christian doesn't know Arabic at all. He can't even read Arabic. He claimed on my previous video that in the first start that for people who don't know Arabic like me and you, like me, he said about himself, like me, meaning Rob, he doesn't know Arabic. He said that about himself. So we can read here نسقيكم مما في بطونه, right? وفي الآية الأخرى مما في بطونها, right? In Surah Al-Mu'minun chapter, in Surah Al-Mu'minun. And they say ويجوز هذا وهذا, and both are correct in the way. In بطونه is correct and بطونها is correct. كما في قوله تعالى, like Allah says, كلا إنه تذكره فمن شاء ذكره. تذكره ذكره, right? So كلا إنه تذكره فمن شاء ذكره. There we see that this is how we expose Christian.
Here we have a difference in doctrine, difference in aqidah. Did you hear it? Speaking from cave, Hira. Differences in doctrines. Aqidah. Watch. Pay attention to this word. His books. وَكُتُبِهِ. Plural. وَكُتُبِهِ. This can be the Quran. This can be the Torah. This can be the Injil. Alright, guys? Kutubihi. His books. Books of who? Of Allah. This can be the Quran. This can be the Torah. This can be what? The Injil, the Zabur, and so on, right? But the same chapter, same ayah 12, it says وَكِتَابِهِ versus كُتُبِهِ. So the Qalun and the Warsh versions do not agree with the Hafs version. وَكُتُبِهِ وَكِتَابِهِ.
So as for the one in the Hafs version, it says وَكُتُبِهِ, meaning Mary believed in Allah's books, meaning the previous books, including the book that was sent to her son Isa alayhi salam, which is the present book. And the Qalun and Warsh version says وَكِتَابِهِ, meaning she believed in the gospel. So there's no difference at all, because the first one in Hafs says وَكُتُبِهِ, including the gospel, and the second one says she believed in the gospel.
Nabi qatala, and many a prophet fought. Qatala. Nabi qatala versus the Qalun and Warsh version. The Hafs version says qatala, a prophet fought. Qatala versus the Qalun and Warsh version. Qutila. Qatala, a prophet fought versus a prophet was killed. How is this the same?
This can be referring to both, because there were prophets that people fought with him, and some people were fought with that fought with him died, and also the prophets died, and some of the other followers were not harmed in any way. In chapter 2 of the Quran, verse 246, it talks about have you not considered the assembly of the children of Israel after the time of Moses? So these people came after the time of Moses, when they said to their prophet of theirs, send us a king that we will fight in the way of Allah. He said, would you perhaps refrain from fighting if fighting was prescribed for you? He said, and why should we not fight in the cause of Allah when we have been driven out of our homes and from our children? But when fighting was prescribed among them, they turned away, except for a few of them. This is talking about, and their prophet said to them, indeed Allah has sent to you Saul as a king. They said, how can we have kingship? How can he have kingship over us while more worthy of him, etc., etc. And this is when David, Prophet David, was included in this war with this prophet. Before he became a prophet, he killed a man named Goliath. Right? When they faced Goliath and their soldiers, they fought against them. And it says that so they defeated them by the permission of Allah, and David killed Goliath, and Allah gave him kingship and etc. These, Allah says afterwards in chapter 2 of the Quran, verse 253, those messengers, some of them we caused to exceed others. Among them were those whom Allah spoke, meaning Moses, and he raised some of them in decree, and we gave Jesus the son of Mary clear proofs, and we support him with a pure spirit. If Allah had willed, those generations succeeding them, who them? Moses, meaning the one that Allah spoke to, the messenger Allah spoke to, and Jesus. Those generations that succeeded them would not have fought each other after the clear proofs have come to them, but they differed, and some of them believed, some of them continued to believe, after the generations of Moses, because there was more generations. Some generations were people who fought with their prophets, the prophets were killed, and some of his followers were killed, but others were still alive and still supported that prophet. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing that even if the Prophet Muhammad were to be killed, it does not mean that he is a false prophet, and it does not mean that you should leave him and leave belief in everything. But this is a test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it says some of them believed and some have disbelieved, and if Allah had willed, they would not have fought one another, but Allah does what He intends. In Surah Al-Imran, as you can see, chapter 3 of the Quran, verse 21, those who disbelieve in the signs of Allah and kill the prophets without right and kill those who order justice from among the people, give them glad tidings of painful punishment. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَكْفُرُونَ بِآيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَيَقْتُلُونَ النَّبِيِّينَ بِغَيْرِ حَقٍّ وَيَقْتُلُونَ الَّذِينَ يَأْمُرُونَ بِالْقِسْطِ مِنَ النَّاسِ فَبَشِّرْهُم بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. So it's clear that there were prophets after Musa alayhi salam, and especially the Israelites killed many of the prophets. And there were also, the Jews, they killed many of the prophets. And as we know that after the time of Moses, there came millions of prophets. And at the time of Jesus, till the time of Jesus, and after Jesus, there were still the followers of Jesus. One party of them were believers, and other of them were innovators, so people who said that Jesus is God, and or those people who tried to move away from Jesus' teachings and do bad deeds. So we can also show that in this verse is a miracle, subhanAllah, because in one of the verses it says that some people fought with the Prophet, right? كم من نبي قاتل معه ربانيون, right? So there, how many prophets that his followers fought with him. They were on the same side, they fought against the enemies. And one shows that not all the prophets and their followers died. And in the other verse it says, and how much of a prophets have died, how much of prophets were killed with him of his followers. So it shows that some prophet and his followers were, there's different other types of prophets that died while fighting with their followers, and his followers also died. The prophet's followers also died while fighting with him. But this means that there were still others of them that succeeded them, and they were still alive, and their prophet died, and some of the people that were with them died. But they did not وَمَا وَهِنُوا, they did not weaken, and they did not disbelieve in Allah. So they continued being strong in Iman, and they knew that even if the Prophet died and his followers and they were not victorious, that they still knew that Allah is the truth, and Allah will give them a huge reward if they become patient upon this trial.
Allahu huwa al-ghani. Allah, He is the rich. Hafs version says, Allah, He is the rich. Al-ghani. Allah huwa al-ghaniyu. Allah huwa al-ghaniyu. If we go to the Qalun version and the Warsh version, same chapter, same ayah, Hafs, Qalun, An-Nafi, wa Warsh An-Nafi. Warsh and Qalun. Warsh and Qalun versus Hafs. Suddenly Huwa is missing. Yahya, don't call me. Here the Huwa, Allah, He is missing, totally missing. Wow! A word can be missing? Yes. And the proof is in front of you.
So as you can see in the Hafs version, it says Huwa, He is, while in the Qalun it says Allahul Ghaniyul Hamid, and is not there. Does this actually change the meaning? No, because it's all the same thing. Because Allah al-Ghaniyul Hamid means Allah is the most rich, the most all praised. And similarly, Allah is the rich and the all praised. So there's no difference. Like saying Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, instead you can say Allah huwa ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah is ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, while Allahu ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is Allah. Similarly is ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So these are two attributes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Hum in the Hafs version, guys, chapter 43, ayah 19, Hafs, it says Hum Ibadur Rahmani. They are the slaves of Al-Rahman. Again, they, the Hafs version, they are the slaves of Al-Rahman. Right? That's the what? Hafs. Same chapter, same ayah, it says, Hum inda Rahmani. They are with the Al-Rahman, which is basically Allah, right? One of the 99 names of Allah. They are with Al-Rahman. Is it the slaves of Al-Rahman, or is it inda Rahmani? Which one is correct?
So these are different recitations. As I said, again, there is no different Qur'ans. If the recitations differ, yes, there are different recitations of the Qur'an, but does not mean that it has been changed. It has been revealed this way. So there's no corruption in it, nor is there any corruption in the meaning. So we go back to the topic. When Rob Christian said that the Malaika, in the Hafs it says Ibadur Rahman, that they are slaves of Ar-Rahman, and in the Warsh version it says that they are Inda Rahman, that means with the Almighty, or with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we go to the Quran, does this contradict at all? No, and there's no changes, because in Quran chapter 7 verse 206 it says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِهِ. Right? Indeed, those who are near your Lord are not prevented by arrogance from His worship. So this is referring to the angel, as we can see in the tafsir, okay? Tafsir al-Tabari. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِهِ وَيُسَبِّحُونَهُ وَلَهُ يَسْجُدُونَ. Okay? So it is referring, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ, الَّذِينَ عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ, it means فَإِنَّ الَّذِينَ عِنْدَ رَبِّكَ مِنَ الْمَلَائِكَةِ. They are the angels who are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the angels are also the slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ. Okay, they are not arrogant upon worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is clearly saying that this is the angels, because the angels are with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, عند ربك, with Allah, near Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so clearly we can see there is neither any contradiction, nor there is any change in the meaning.
Here is another disaster. The Hafs versus the Qalun. Guys, do you see the difference already here? Even the numbering, the ayah numbers are different. Well, it's the same ayah. What? Are you saying that Qalun and Warsh can have different numbers for ayahs? Yes. Chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, the cow, Ayah 119 from the Hafs is different number than the Qalun and let's say Warsh, for example. This is Qalun an Nafi. This is Hafs an Asim. Hafs versus the Qalun. So even the numbering of ayahs is not the same. How dare you to say that the Quran is the same? Guys, do you see the disaster already in the numbering of ayahs? This ayah is found in chapter 2, ayah 119, and the same ayah in Qalun version is found under chapter 2, ayah 118. Watch. This is the website where I got it from. Look, ayah 119, let me give you the link, so you will not call us liars. Alright? Open it up and see for yourself. This is the Hafs. The first one is Hafs. Here, same chapter, Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 119, but the ayah numbering is different. How dare you to say that the Quran is same? This is Qalun. Do you see it? Exactly the same ayah, but different numbers. Even the numbers are different. Wow, this is nquran.com, official Arabic recitation website. Wow! The ayahs totally different numbers. Do you see it? Not only the number different. Rob is lying, naked barkeeper. Shame on you, ya kadhab ibn kadhab. How dare you to call me a liar, man? I just gave you the link between the Hafs Hafs and the Qalun. How am I lying, you idiot? Look the numbering. Ayah 119, same chapter, Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayah 118. So even the numbering is different. Wow.
So this is the Quran, the Hafs version. Here in Surah Al-Baqarah, it says Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, as you can see. Let me make it clearer for you guys. Here it says Alif Lam Mim. Alif Lam Mim, here they number it, the number 1 verse. But in the one in Nafi', all this ayah is number 1. So Alif Lam Mim is part, is part of the next ayah, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. So they kind of numbered the 1 here, while in the Hafs one, which is this one, this Quran that I'm using, they put the Alif Lam Mim as 1 ayah. So the numbering is different, but it doesn't change any meaning. And actually the same thing is done with Surah Al-Fatiha in Qalun, the one in Riwayat Qalun, the Mus'haf of Qalun. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is not considered here as 1. There's no 1 at this one in the Mus'haf of Qalun. But in this Mus'haf that I'm using right now in Warsh, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is number 1. They placed the numbers number 1 here. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin is number 2, while in the Qalun, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin is number 1. So this is why the numbering in Mus'haf of Qalun and the one of Hafs, the numbering is different. Because here, for example, in the Hafs version, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, there is a 1 here. While in this version, which is Qalun, as you can see, برواية قالون عن نافع, right? Here you can see the Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin is numbered 1, while in the Hafs one, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is numbered 1. And similarly here, Alif Lam Mim, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى لِلْمُتَّقِينَ is all number 1, numbered number 1. While in the Hafs version, Alif Lam Mim is only numbered number 1, and this is number 2. So this is only different numberings, but doesn't change the meaning.
I think you need to go to an eye doctor and let them check out your eyes, because there is poop in your eyes, you idiot. There is poop in your eyes. There is poo-poo crap in your eyes. Go let them check your eyes. All right. Mohammed Saeed, why is your brother then lying? You just said, yes, we already know the difference. You just said it. So why is your brother lying?
So the first reading in Hafs, it says, وَلَا تُسْأَلُوا, you will not be asked about the people of hellfire. In the Quran version, it says, وَلَا تَسْأَلْ, and do not ask, O Muhammad, about the people of the hellfire. So that means, in the Hafs version, it's saying that you will not be asked about them. So why ask about them, right? So in the Quran version, the Prophet asked, if he wanted to ask about these people, he should not ask about them, because he's not going to be asked about what their doings is or what their deeds are.
Here's another example. Take screenshot, guys. Again, the numbering is different, but the ayah should be the same. The numbering, chapter 3, if I'm mistaken, correct me please. Surah Ali Imran, chapter 3, yeah, that's Ali Imran, ayah 81 versus Ali Imran, chapter 3, ayah 80. Do you see how the numbering again is different? How can this be the same Quran, bro? Bruh, how can this be the same Quran if the numbering is different? Wow, the numbering is different? Yes, the numbering is different while it's the same ayah. Look, the same ayah. Wow, the numbering is the same. Yes, this is Hafs, this is Qalun. Even the numbering is different? Yes. Here. And pay attention to this word. أتيتكم. أتيتكم من كتاب. That I came to you with a book. أتيتكم. أتيتكم, singular. that I came to you with a book versus the Qalun, the Hafs versus the Qalun. Ataynakum, this word again, but it's a different word. So here Allah is saying that I came to you with a book. Later he changes his mind in another version of the Quran and says that Allah is calling himself, we came to you with a book.
So the idiot Rob doesn't know that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about himself we, it's him using the royal we, because he's called the King of Kings, right? And the kings use the royal we to refer to themselves, right? So if one king is if a queen or one king, a singular king, is saying we, he means by that royal we to show power or to show greatness of his kingdom.
The Khalaf version, now the Khalaf version, guys. Khalaf version, chapter 25, ayah 61. Surujan versus the Hafs version, Sirajan. Surujan versus Sirajan. Surujan versus Sirajan. Many lamps, right? Many lamps and the moon. Many lamps and the moon versus one lamp and the moon. Which one is correct, Muslims?
Actually, both are correct, and Rob got this wrong, because Sirajan, meaning a lamp, is referring to the sun, and Surujan is referring to all the stars, including the sun. So this means the sun is a small star. How can we know that? There's a short answer here. Our sun is an average size star. There are smaller stars and larger stars. So it clearly says that the sun here, it turns out that our sun is an average size star. There are bigger stars and there are smaller stars. We have found stars, etc., etc. So as you see here, they are saying that the sun is also a star, which is a small star. And I mean, you guys can go and just search it up and Google it. You can write on Google, is the sun a star? And it says the sun is a star. And then you can see here as well, why is the sun a star, etc., etc. So they basically tell you that the sun is a star. So it's just a small star. So basically it's a star of our solar system.